up? It's the secret sauce. And secret sauce is just, hey, what advice do you have for current laundromat owners? Maybe something they could try or implement in their business to help them, take their business up to the next level.
So the secret sauce in our case, and I can only speak to what we have focused on, is actually client service. So client service is kind of thrown around really generously in almost every industry, right? So a lot of businesses, quality is in the service. But in essence, what does that mean? So we did what my wife and I think is what it should be. There has to be a definition that we can teach our employees. Mm-hmm. And it's based on three things. So the first one is, and there's very basic three things, by the way. But the idea is, look, if we are an attended laundromat, it means to the client that number one, they got to get a warm welcome. I mean, you go to a restaurant, you go to anywhere where service is the centerpiece of whatever it is that they're offering, or even if it's retail, you go to a store. And if somebody at the store acknowledges that you came in and they say, hey, good morning. Hey, good afternoon. Hey, how can I help you? That in itself makes a big differentiator from any other business. And again, it doesn't have to be laundromat. It could be, again, a restaurant, a shoe store, any retail, a retail or service-based place that you go to as a person. Clients love to be acknowledged. And if you make your client a centerpiece, because it is the centerpiece of whatever it is that you're offering, then that first thing basically is just to get a warm welcome. It's a basic thing a lot of people miss. Mm-hmm. The second thing is anticipate what your client needs. Look, figure out why are they coming and how is that going to happen? Now, you do get recurring clients. So you do get people that you know what's going to happen with them, how they like to wash their clothes, what's the machine that they like, what detergents they like. But those are things that you can anticipate. How do you anticipate a new client that comes in? Ask the question, how can I help you? Are you going to wash or are you going to leave it? Or you're going to wash it? Perfect. Do you have detergent? I'm not sure. I'm going to go to the supermarket and buy some. Don't worry, because we have this brand and this brand and this brand and this. We have all the brands. And I've spoken to other laundromat owners and they're like, we don't buy all the brands. We just buy the cheapest brand because that's what the clients are willing to pay for. I'm like, well, I don't know. I buy them all and I sell all of them. Turns out that I sell them all and I got to keep buying. But some of them are more expensive than others. Yes, that is completely true. And we just average out. We sell them all at the same price and we make money on some and we make less money on some others. But we make money on all of them. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's because we're anticipating the needs of the clients. So the client comes in, anticipate. Do you need a bag to take it out? Do you need detergent? Do you need softener? Do you need whatever it is that you need? We basically have it all. And anything and everything that a client could buy to wash their clothes, we might have it in stock. Spray and wash, OxyClean, vinegar, Arm & Hammer in actual real baking powder. And we have it all because clients come and ask, hey, by the way, do you have this? Yes, we do. And then it could be $1 more. It could be free. And that's because a 10-cent item that, yes, you could make 90 cents profit, but the goodwill that you generate with your client just by saying, hey, this plastic bag that you're asking me, which I could charge you $0.25 for, instead of nickel and diming your client, raise your prices and give them the bag for free. Mm-hmm. Because it's one bag and I might give out 4 bags a day. Mm-hmm. Maybe. And the bag is worth probably 3 cents. Maybe. So So the second item is anticipate what your client needs and just be ready for it. And then the third item, which is the most simplest item, which a lot of companies just completely miss, is make sure that the client, when they leave, you say, hey, thank you for coming. Can I help you with the bag? Can I take it to the car? Did we do a good job? Is it dry? Is your clothes dry? It's a question we always ask all of our clients. And most clients, 99%, yes, it's dried. It's great. It works. And then, once you build that rapport with your client, then you can ask, hey, do you mind giving us a review in whatever, in Google or in Facebook? Or how did you find us? Oh, I did a Google search. Hey, do you mind giving us a review in Google? Because other clients might be looking for your services. And if you had a good experience, can you? So right now, as of today, a year and a half later since we started, all of our reviews in Google are 5 stars. All of our reviews in Facebook are 5 stars. Because we catch, if something went wrong, we catch it in the moment. Because we acknowledge that the client came in, we anticipated what their needs are, and we gave them a warm goodbye and kind of closed the loop with with whatever it is that they came to do with us. Because we do those 3 things at any moment of those 3 interactions, the client can say, hey, something's not right. Hey, I activated, because this could happen. I activated the dryer twice. So instead of paying for 30 minutes, I paid for an hour, but I don't need an hour. Don't worry, I'll refund. I'll put back $350 in your card. Are you sure? Yeah. It doesn't take 2 minutes to do it. But what do you do with the other half hour? Whatever. We just turn off the machine and the clock will keep on going. Don't worry about that. Just use what you need. So service is the secret sauce. Granted, it does help that you have the infrastructure to support the level of service that you're trying to provide. But if you think of those 3 things, and by the way, these are 3 things that I stole from somewhere else. It's not, we didn't, we're not recreating the wheel. The wheel was there. We just took it from another industry and we put it in place in an industry that needs service. But the definition of service was what? So we distilled it to do 3 interactions. So here's an example of what happens when a client comes in and our attendants are doing wash and fold. The instructions are, you stop what you're doing and you go and attend the client. Oh, but what happens with the wash and fold order? It gets delayed. Well, you know what? We have to learn to build time in between the processing of the wash and fold order to make sure that the client that does come in and is physically in our store, that they get the support that they need. Because that's the client that's going to, it's the word of mouth, is going to give you the reviews, is going to say something positive about your business because of the interaction that they had with you. So we're very jealous about making sure that our employees are attending to the clients that are on the floor versus only doing wash and fold, which is really what pays their salary. But we build timing into the wash and fold orders to make sure that there's ample space for them to kind of veer off a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to leave this here, take care of a client, and then come back. Basically, what's happened is we've hired additional resources just to make sure that the folding happens. Folding and packaging is the most manual piece of it. So folding and packaging happens while somebody is attending to the client. But when we started, we couldn't do that. We couldn't afford it. We've gotten to a bigger scale where we now can afford to have an employee stop what they're doing, attend to a client, take care of those 3 things, and then come back. And it's funny because when was it? I think it was last night. Last night, my wife and I were there at the store, closing up, and this lady whom I've seen several times, she says, listen, Luis, I just wanted to tell you and your wife that congratulations on keeping up with the promise or with the concept of serving the client. because at the beginning, a lot of people do that because the owners are there and everybody's wanting to take care of the business. But sometimes it doesn't last because the owners, they start doing something else. They start delegating, and that item specifically related to attending to that client gets missed. And that's why we simplified it. Look, it's 3 things. You got to do these 3 things. If you do these 3 things consistently, and by the way, within those 3 things, if something goes wrong, call me or call my wife. Because again, I go back to technology. I can credit a client. I can start a machine in my house. I can go into the system. I can view the balance of a card. Or if something went wrong with a credit card, I can go in and figure out what went wrong and either credit back, process an order, start a machine. I can do all of that from home. The only thing I can't do is physically put stuff into the machine and get them started. But everything else, we can do remotely, by the way. And we only use 2 apps for that. We use a specific app for controlling the machines and the card system, and then the POS, and it's interconnected. So I can, if a client has balance, I can do a ticket from home, and I've actually done orders from home. Call the store and say, "Hey, can you print the client and a receipt just for them to have a paper receipt?" Which, by the way, all the receipts the clients get via text anyway to their phones. So it does help to have the infrastructure and the technology, but then there's a mindset behind it where you got to simplify a little bit of what you're trying to do, with the idea that, hey, I distilled 3 definitions of what service to us looks like. And that's what we have to teach every new employee. We have to teach everybody. Everybody has to be aware that those are the 3 things that we got to do. And obviously then you got to drill down on each and every one of them to make sure that there's support, that there's a way to support those 3 things.
Yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. I love that. And I think that is so powerful. It's stuff like that, it makes your business a business, right? It makes you're operating on a professional level at that point. When you are keeping those things in mind, you're focusing on those, you're staying consistent with those, you're continually reinforcing, those 3 rules or principles that you're trying to instill into your attendants. You're training that way. And that's what takes the business to the next level and will allow you to scale it into as big of a business as you want it to become at that point, I think. So I love that. That was, I will classify that as an epic secret sauce right there. I love that.